So if this video popped up on your For You page, if this video popped up on your timeline, I want you to know that it was not by coincidence. This morning, I have a message just for you. This morning, God wants you to know that it is time for you to stop procrastinating. It's time for you to stop making excuses. It's time for you to stop waiting until the new year. And it is time for you to take your authority back. See, one thing about the devil is he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And with him killing, stealing, and destroying, is not going to be the things that you always think it is. That's going to be overthinking. That's going to be procrastination. That's going to be making excuses. That's going to be living in fear. That's going to be scared to go forward in the unknown, in the things that God are calling you to, because you are afraid. See, the devil, he does not play fair. He wants you to think that you can't make it. He wants you to think that you are not worthy. He wants you to think you have to live a life of poverty, that you have to continue to live in fear, continue to work a 9-to-5 job. See, the devil, he wants to keep you bound, and he wants to keep you in the circumstances that you are in. But this morning, on today, the time that you are watching this, I need you to understand that you are worthy of everything that you are praying for. You can be praying and you can be asking God to make you wealthy. You can be praying and you can be asking God to pay your bills. You can be asking God to help you to overcome poverty. But until you get into position where you are not afraid to go for, where you are not afraid to take the next step, where you are not afraid to start this business, you will not reach your highest level in life. You have to get to a place where you are no longer living in fear and you are trusting God with your all. Even when all hell breaks loose in your home, in your marriage, in your finances, no matter what you are facing with, you have to still trust and believe that God is going to show you the way and that he is going to bring you through everything that you are faced with. One thing I have realized as a business owner is every time I pray, every time God gives me a vision, every time I am focused on the goal and the vision that God has called me to, that's when all hell breaks loose in my home. That's when I begin to have battle after battle after battle. It's in those moments of going forth, in those moments of pursuing what God has called you to, when the devil will begin to bring all forces on you. When you are living comfortably, when you are not on your assignment, when you are distracted by the TV, when you are distracted by the drama, when you are distracted by all your circumstances, and you put your energy and your time into thinking of the negativity, thinking of what could go wrong, the enemy is okay with that. He wants you to be bound by your troubles, and he wants to keep you occupied by fear. But when you break out of that cycle, when you tell yourself enough is enough and I'm going to trust God, I'm going to have faith, I'm going to go forth with this business, that's when all hell will begin to break loose. If the business that you are pursuing was not going to take off, if your journey was not meant to be great, do you think that the devil will be trying to come up against you? Do you think he will be sending multiple attacks to distract you and to destroy you? He has already seen the things that God has for you, but it's up to you to continue to press forward no matter what. I don't care what your mama did. I don't care what your daddy did. I don't care where you came from. At the end of the day, you have to put your trust in God, and you have to believe God can bring you through anything that you are currently faced with, and your life does not have to continue to be the way that it is. You have to believe that you are worthy of everything that you are praying for. You have to trust God, and you have to know at the end of the day, this is all going to work out because you are a chosen one. You are connected to God. You are a royal priesthood, and because of these things, your assignment is greater, and God said that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So no matter what you are faced with, God is still going to bring you out, and at the end of the day, your life is going to be better. You read the Bible, it even tells you, it say that you will be a lender and not a borrower. So this means that you will have so much money that you no longer have to borrow, that you will be able to get the things that you desire, as well as be a lender for others. See, with digital products, I talk about these things on this channel, but this is just the stepping stone, you guys. This is just the beginning stage. This is just phase 1. When you start your digital product business, this is a way for you to start bringing in passive income, but the goal is to build wealth. With building wealth, this means that you're going to be able to start those nonprofits. You're going to be able to give back to your community. You're going to be able to help the homeless. You're going to be able to do the things that God has called you to do. This is just the start. And when you focus on helping others, when you focus on giving valuable information, when you focus on the bigger picture, that's when you can succeed, and that's when you can live in faith, knowing that God is going to bring you to it. I talk to you guys about starting in digital products because it's a business where you don't have to have money to get started. You can literally go on Canva and create your first ebook or create a course. Or, as I've told you guys in my previous video, you can start with just doing coaching calls on Zoom, where you're telling people and giving them the information and the knowledge that they need. This is just a business that you can get started in without having to have income. If you're selling digital products, this means that you don't have any overhead. You can literally have a website that is free. I tell you guys that Stand Store is the easiest route to go, because with Stand Store you can get started and it's very beginner friendly. But you can also use different websites like PayHip and Gumroad. These are all beginner friendly websites, and PayHip and Gumroad does not charge you a monthly fee. So there is no excuses. You have some kind of knowledge. You have something that you have overcome. You have a step ahead of somebody in something, and digital products is just the way that you can start and you can begin making passive income. But once you get started in this business, you're going to take that money and you're going to invest it into something else. God said that your gifts will make room for you, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And because of this means that you're going to take the money from digital products and then you're going to invest it into something else that God has called you for. If God told you to open up a shelter, you're going to take the money from your gifts of knowing something and you're going to invest it into opening up that shelter. If He told you to start a daycare so that you can help the kids in your community, you're going to take the money from digital products, starting this business, and you're going to invest it into this. I want you to get to a place where you think beyond your own thoughts. You have to know that at the end of the day, this is an assignment. This is not about just having money so that you can buy those fancy cars and you can buy that big house and you can look like you have money. No, the goal here and my job here is to make sure that you know that you are worthy of a life that creates generational wealth. It starts with you. You will have so much money that your kids will be okay. We're speaking things into the atmosphere as if they are already so, because I believe and I know that God can do, but you have to believe it. You have to think it as if it is already. So I want you to focus in. I want you to get to a place where you say, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of not having enough. I'm tired of being poor. I'm tired of living in poverty. I'm tired of having to work this 9-to-5 job. I'm tired of living a life that is a routine every day where I'm not exploring life and seeing the things that God has for me. I'm ready for what God has for me. I'm ready to open up this new door. I'm ready to receive wealth. I'm ready to break these chains and this poverty off of my family life. My kids will have more money. My kids will have generational wealth. My kids will be wealthy. Like, this is all about generational wealth. This is all about doing the kingdom work. This is about giving God glory. It's not about us. We are just users of God. This is all about God. Everything that we do, it has to be glory to God. And I want you to get in a place where you tell God, God, I've been living and I've just been living. But now I'm ready to do the work. Now I'm ready to do what you have called me to do. Because I know one thing about God is he has given each and every one of us an assignment. And have you ever just realized, like, you can be thinking of an idea, you can be thinking of starting to do a business, and next thing you know, a year has went by, 6 months has went by, 3 months has went by, and then you see somebody else doing that exact thing that you envisioned, that exact thought that you had, that exact idea that you had. It's because if you do not go forth with it, God will just send that vision, he will send that assignment to someone else who is willing, someone else who is ready, someone else who has accepted their calling. This is not about us, it is all about God. So I need you to tap in. I need you to say, God, I'm ready. I don't know the answers, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I'm ready, I'm willing. One thing about it is, if you are willing, God will do the rest. He will give you that vision. He will give you that thought. But until he know that you are willing, he will not give you anything else. He first have to see that you are willing. He first have to see that you believe. He first have to see that you are going to step out on faith. And when you step out on faith, that's when those doors are going to open for you. When I first started business in 2017, you guys, I had been going a month straight to a job that my mind was no longer on, and I told God I was willing, I was ready, and immediately something happened in my life where I ended up having to have immediate surgery. I left work, going to the hospital, because I worked a night shift job. I left and I went to the hospital, you guys, and I had to have an immediate outpatient surgery. And during this process, I was off work for 4 weeks. And before I got ready to go back, I was battling with myself, and I cried out to God, and I pleaded, and I fasted on that day, and I told God, God, I am willing. I don't know what you're going to do in my life. At the time, I didn't have a savings. At the time, I wasn't even doing hair consistently. At the time, I didn't even know that I can start a business because nobody in my family had a business. Nobody ever told me that it was possible. All I had was faith. All I knew was God had been shifting my mindset for a month, shifting my thoughts and my ideas to no longer working at this job. And I had faith, and I knew that it was time for me to leave that job. I knew that God was telling me to quit this job. I was scared to death. I had bills. At the time, I only had one child. I was a single mother to this one child. And I did not know that I was going to be a business owner, but I trusted God. In that moment, I had to make a decision. Either I was going to live a life of fear, or I was going to take a leap of faith. And I chose to take a leap of faith. Since 2017, God has been my provider. I've started multiple businesses. I've created multiple streams of income for myself. And I owe it all to God. But I also had to tell myself, you are the reason you are here as well, because you made a conscious decision to go forth. You told God yes, and when you told God yes, the door is open. I quit that job, and when I quit that job, my bookings went crazy. At the time, back in the day when I was younger, since I was like 11 or 12, I always did hair here and there, but I never thought that I wanted to start a business. Never thought that I would own a salon. Like, I didn't take it serious enough for me to say, yes, one day this is going to be my business. Yes, one day I'm going to work for myself. But when I quit this job, you guys, God expanded my territory in a way where it was only him and his grace and his mercy. And that was because I was obedient. That's because I allowed him to take control. I gave him my life. I surrendered in that moment. I could have went back to a job that I hated going to, a job that was costing me my time with my child, a job that literally was driving me crazy because I had an hour commute back and forth, working at night, and we was working 6 and 7 days a week. This job was killing me mentally. And I told God I was willing, I was ready, I was obedient. And he opened the doors for me in 2017. And since 2017, I have been going forth. Am I telling you it's always easy for me? No, it's not always easy. It's going to be days where you feel like, how am I going to get through this? It's going to be days where you feel like you can't even push forward. It's going to be days where you even question your journey. But I want you to know that if you trust in God, if you give God the full control that he wants and he desires of your life, everything will always work out for you. It's not a time in my life that I have been questioning God, where I have been living, where I felt like I couldn't make it the next day, where I have been faced with obstacles. It's not a time in my life that I have had a season of going through something where God did not overcome it, where he did not bring me through it, where I did not survive it. Everything that I have went through prepared me for my next season. You have to understand that when you are asking God for these things, he has to prepare you for it. If you are asking him to help you to be a millionaire, to help you to generate wealth, like I told you guys, the devil is going to tempt you. He is going to try to destroy your future. But you have to know that you are chosen and that God gave you the assignment and the vision for a reason. So even when you feel like all hell is breaking loose, you have to know, hey, the devil is trying to destroy something. So I know I gotta press forward. I know I gotta keep going, because what's on the other side of this obstacle that I am facing is gonna be greater. And because it's gonna be greater, I gotta get over here to this other side. Imagine being someone who's struggling and you're facing constant battles, but you stop in the midst of the storm. You are in the tunnel and you stop and you go back. Because we have an option. When you're in the middle of a tunnel, either you're going to go back to the old familiar ways, or you're going to press forward and you're going to go to the new beginning. You're going to go to the other side. So imagine being somebody who has been going through all hell all these years and you don't get to the finish line. You have to be prepared and you have to be willing to get to the finish line. You have to get to that finish line because it's going to be greatness. Everything that you have been through, you're going to be in awe because God gets all the glory. Everything that you are faced with is preparing you for your next season. You have to understand, God is not going to give you everything right now, because if he gave it all to you, would you know how to handle it? I always tell myself I had to be poor in order to appreciate the wealth. I had to be broke in order to learn how to budget. I had to live paycheck to paycheck to be able to accept making money every single day. Every single day, money touched my hands some kind of way, you guys. And before I reached this level of life, God had to take me through the storm of not having nothing, going days of being broke, literally not knowing what me and my kid was going to eat that day because I did not have the money to supply everything. But at the end, it was all worth it because God took me through that season of my life so that I can appreciate this season that I am currently in. So I wanted you guys to know, the digital product business is not just for you. It's for your future. It's for your kids. It's for your kids' kids. It's for the assignment that is greater over your life, for the people who are attached to your life. It is meant for you to start this business. And that's why I always tell you guys, this is not a side hustle. This is not a get-rich scheme. This is not for us to just flash money and to say we got it and to look good and to take the IG pics. This is so much bigger than us. This is all about God. It is all about giving him the glory. It is all about building up his kingdom. And I want you guys to accept your calling. I want you to be able to say, God, I don't know what you're going to do, but I trust you. And I know that you called me for a reason, and I am ready. So if that is you, and I wholeheartedly believe it is because you clicked on this video, then I pray on today that you will go forth in your life and you will live a life of faith and not fear. You will live a life that is glorious to God. And every single day that you wake up, I need you to say, God, I am ready. I am ready for what today shall bring. And I want you to speak it into your life, and I want you to know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Baby, we are in battle right now. It's a song that I love, and it say, this means war. You can't have my family. You can't have my increase. You hear me? This is war. We are in a war battle with the enemy. We are in a war battle in our minds, because everything starts within your mind. You can't receive it until you believe it. So I need you to tap in, and I need you to pull and plug into God. I need you to charge your battery. Charge your battery. Yes, charge your battery. Plug in with God. Because when you plug in with God, baby, He's going to light that spark. And nothing can stop you and God when you tap into God. So I hope this message blessed you. And I cannot wait to hear your testimony. And I cannot wait to see what God does in your life. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you back here on my next video. Bye.